Hey, it's Captain Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what I'm going to cover is the best rod and reel size for catching snook. So for those of you not familiar with me, I am a fishing guide here on the Treasure Coast of Florida. Snook, tarpon, redfish, trout, flounder, that's pretty much the Fab Five that I'm usually targeting and pretty much everyone's targeting in this area. But I'm going to show you what I use for snook. And it just depends where I'm fishing for the snook, and that's what I'm going to cover here in this video. I got some rods here. Let me put my glasses on so I know which one is which. Sucks getting old. Okay, here's my first one. So this right here is a Daiwa BG. It's a 4000 series reel. I have 20-pound braid on there, and I have a 30-pound leader on this one. This is a medium heavy rod, and this rod right here is what I'm going to use when I am trying to pull big snook out of structure. So if I was just drifting the flats, there's no way I would be pitching this all day because it's too heavy. But if I am pitching up to some sort of cover, so say for instance that I'm skipping something, I'm going to skip underneath a dock, something like this. This is a 5.5-inch jerk shad or anything like that. Say it's around any structure, say it's around mangroves, I'm skipping up under the mangroves, and you get a big snook, you got to get him out of there, because if you can't get him out of there, you're gonna get cut off on the oysters that are on either the pilings of the dock or the oysters that are on the mangroves. So anytime you're around structure, you need a pole with a little more backbone to really get that thing out of there, and you need to go with a higher braid, which is 20-pound. I mean, I've known guys that are in there fishing with 30-pound. It's just the problem with, as you go heavier, your lure doesn't have the same distance. You just can't get it in there. And those big snook, when you're fishing during the day, they're a lot smarter. That's how they got bigs. And the second they see something funny, they're not going to eat. So you really got to get that bait in there so they see the bait before they see you, or you're not going to catch them. Now, smaller snook a lot of times will hit anything you throw at them. So that's a little different story. But that's going to be the one you want to use when you are fishing around any sort of structure. I also use that same rod when I'm fishing off the beach in the trough, because those are even bigger snook, and you never know, you might hook a tarpon or something too. So that's also what I'm going to fish off the beach with for those bigger snook. There's really no structure there unless you're around a reef or something, or a jetty. But a lot of times you want that just in case you get a real pig on there and you don't feel like walking a half mile to get them in, because they run straight down the beach. It's the way they're going to do it. So when you're not fishing around structure, you're drifting the flats, maybe you're fishing sandy potholes, maybe you're just pitching up against spoil islands that don't have a lot of structure around them, just beaches and things like that. That's when I'll use this. This is a 2500 series BG Daiwa, and this is a medium action rod, and this has either 8 or 10-pound braid on it. I don't remember, it's probably 10. And anytime you're fishing for snook, you usually want to have at least 30 on there, just because their mouths are so abrasive that they're going to wear through that line if you fight them for any period of time. So a 30-pound leader, if they're small and they're small, do 20. If they're really line shy, if the water is super clear that day. But this is the tackle you need. That's it. So you got a 2500 series medium action. I think this is a 7.5, 8 foot. I like them longer when I'm fishing the flat so I can get a lot more distance. Whereas when I'm fishing around any sort of structure, I like them a little shorter because I have more control to get them all, get my baits, whatever I'm using, skipped up in there, just right. And let me just give you another tip. If you're skipping docks, these things are great value. They're the Magna wide bass, worm hooks, and they're super heavy. These 5/0s, boy, they match up great with these 5.5-inch DOA jerk baits. I'm telling you, these things are great, and you get a ton of them for not much. Now they're gonna rust out right away. They're a freshwater thing, but that's fine because you don't really, care. You don't want to, if you lose the snook, you want it to rust out of his face. But I really just wanted to cover those, what your setup, the actual tackle setup you're gonna need to maximize your snook catching here on the Treasure Coast of Florida. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I think that's it. So until next time, I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.